Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be crocheting this ribbed tee. I'll be making a small in this video, but you can find sizes X small to 3X large in the written pattern that I have linked down below. But here are the supplies you'll be needing. So to get started on this pattern, we're going to be working up the side panel first. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a slip knot. You can do that any way you would like. Now we're going to begin by making a chain of 77. And to make a chain, just want to yarn over and pull through. Again, just yarning over and pulling through. And so I am back here. I just finished up that chain of 77. Then now beginning on our first row here, we're going to skip this first chain and insert our hook into the second chain, and we're going to be working half double crochets all the way down. So to work a half double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into that second chain, pull through, yarning over, pulling through. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into that next chain, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and then continue to work this all the way down your row. So I just finished up working those half double crochets all the way down here. Once I reach the end, I'm going to chain one and then turn my work around, and that chain one does not count as a stitch. So skipping this first chain and inserting my hook into this first stitch, we're going to be working back bar single crochets all the way down our row. So to work a back bar single crochet, I'm going to insert my hook only into that back bar or back loop, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. Again, only inserting my hook into that back bar, pull through two, and then of course working this all the way down our row. And so I had just finished up working those back bar single crochets all the way down my row here, and just like last time, once I reach the end, chain one, turn your work around. That chain one does not count as our first stitch. So skipping this first chain and inserting my hook into this first stitch, we're just going to be working half double crochets into each stitch all the way down. And so I have just finished up working all the way down my row with those half double crochets. I'll just chain one and turn my work once I reach the end. Then now to continue your pattern for this shoulder strap, you want to repeat row 2 with those back bar single crochets and row 3 with these half double crochets until you have a total of 17 rows. So I'll just work those 17 rows off camera, then I'll meet you back when I'm all done. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my work. I have a total of 17 rows, and I just repeated alternating those back bar single crochets and those half double crochet rows. And now our next row is actually really simple. What we're going to do is that we're going to work those regular back bar single crochets until we have eight stitches from the top unworked. So I'm just going to go all the way down here, and then I will meet you back once I have left those 8 stitches unworked. And so I made it back here. I left 8 stitches from the top unworked, and then from here all I'm going to do is just chain one, turn my work around, and then beginning into this first stitch, I'm just going to be working those regular half double crochets all the way back down my row just as you normally would. And so I just finished up working those half double crochets all the way down here. And then now for our next row, we're just going to work back bar single crochets all the way down here until you have 2 stitches from the top completely unworked. So I'm going to work those single crochets, then I'll meet you back at the end. Alrighty guys, so I just finished up working those back bar single crochets, and as you can see I left 2 stitches from the top completely unworked, and this is going to form stairs to our neckline so we can have those decreases. But now just to continue this pattern, you want to repeat row 2 and row 3, alternating those back bar single crochet rows. Make sure to leave 2 from the top, and those regular half double crochet rows until you have a total of 8 rows for our little decrease section over here. So I'm going to work that off really quickly, then I'll meet you back when I'm all done. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my work. I just finished up working these 8 rows, and as you can see, you can kind of see where we did not work in those 2 stitches at the bottom here. Then now just moving on to our next few rows, we're going to go kind of straight across here. So our next row is just going to be working back bar single crochets into each stitch all the way down here. We're not going to be doing increases or decreases, we're just going to work a regular row of back bar single crochets, and then that's it. I'll just meet you back when I'm done. So I just made it all the way back down here. We did not leave 2 stitches unworked. All we're going to do is just chain 1, turn our work around, then beginning into this first stitch, we're just going to be working half double crochets into each stitch all the way down our work. And again, we're not doing anything fancy here, no increases or decreases, just working all the way down. And so I just finished up those half double crochets coming all the way back down here. And then now our next 2 rows are just a repeat of those last 2 previous rows, which I'm just going to quickly go off camera and work 1 row of back bar single crochets and then a second row of regular half double crochets. So just repeating those last 2 rows 1 more time. But I'll just quickly work that off camera, then I'll meet you back. So guys, I just finished up working those 2 rows as you can see, and then once that is all done, we're going to go ahead and move on with the neckline increases over here. And so to get started on that, our next row is going to be kind of simple. We're going to be working back bar single crochets all the way down our row here. And then once we get to the end, instead of chaining 1 and turning, we're actually going to chain 3 and turn. But I'm just going to show you how to do that once I meet you back at the end. So I just finished up working those single crochets into each stitch as you can see. And then now I'm going to chain 3. And then turn my work around, and that completes row 13. Then now for row 14, skipping this first chain and inserting our hook into that second chain, we're going to be working 2 half double crochets. That's 1, and then into the next chain as well, just like this. And then you just want to continue on working half double crochets into each stitch all the way down, just as you normally would. Okay guys, I just finished up working those half double crochets all the way down my row. This is where we chained 3 at the end. And then now to continue this pattern, you want to repeat those last 2 rows, which is row 13 and row 14, until you have a total of 18 rows. And what this is going to do is going to form those little steps coming up for our neckline increases, just as we have over here. So yeah, just repeat those last 2 rows, row 13 and 14, so you have 18 in total. I'll work that up, then I'll meet you back. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my increases. As you can see, I finished up working all of my rows here. And then now that our increases and decreases are all done, we're going to go ahead and get started on the shoulder strap on the opposite side. And just to get started on that, I'm going to be working back bar single crochets into each row. And then once I reach the end, I'm actually going to be making a chain of 9. But I'm just going to meet you back once I reach the end over here to kind of show you that. And so I just made it to the end of those single crochets. But then once I reach the end, I'm now going to make a chain of 9. And then after I finish this chain of 9, I'm just going to turn my work around. And then beginning into the second chain here, we're just going to be working half double crochets into each of these chains, which is 8. And then I just finished up working down those chains. Then you just want to continue working these regular half double crochets all the way down your row over here. Then I'll just meet you back once I reach the end. And then after you have finished working these half double crochets all the way down your row here, our next row is actually really simple. We're just going to be working those back bar single crochets into each stitch all the way down. We're not going to be doing anything weird at all. I'm just going to work all the way down here. Then I will meet you at the end. And so I just finished up working all the way down my row here. Again, we did nothing weird at all, just worked those single crochets. And then now our next row is that we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and then just work half double crochets all the way down our row, just as you normally would, not doing anything weird again. But yeah, I'll just work all the way down here, and then I will meet you back at the end. And so I just finished up working those half double crochets all the way down my row here. Then now to continue this pattern and completing our shoulder strap, you want to repeat those last 2 rows, which is row 3 and row 4, until you have worked 18 rows. So I will just work that up, and then I will meet you back in a bit. Okay guys, so I am back here with my work. Once I finished the last row, I just cut and tied off. And then now this completes our first panel, as you can see here. And then once this is all done, you want to repeat this exact process one more time because our front and back panels are exactly identical. And then once that's done, we're going to get started on the seaming. So after you have both of your panels, to begin the seaming, I'm going to place my panels good sides facing each other, so the sides with the ribbed is the good side. And then I'm just going to line this up here, and we're going to seam across using slip stitches or single crochets, and you just want to seam starting into this corner, going all the way across here for our shoulder strap. Then you also want to seam across the second shoulder strap, going all the way across here using slip stitches or single crochets. And then turn your work to the side, And then beginning into this very bottom corner, work all the way up here until you have left 6 inches from the top completely unseamed, and that is going to leave room for our armhole. And then of course you want to repeat that on the other side as well, going all the way up here until 6 inches from the top are totally unseamed for our sleeve. I'm going to work that up really quickly, then I will meet you back when I'm all done. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my work all seamed up as you can see, and then once this is all done, we're going to go ahead and get started on the short sleeves over here. So to get started on the sleeve here, I have my hook and I'm just going to insert it right into the seam and then just yarn over, pull through to secure, chain 1, and then we're just going to turn our work. And now we're going to work a foundation row of single crochets coming all the way around here. So just beginning into this first stitch, I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through two, not working back bars or anything, just working regular single crochets into each stitch all the way around. And then once you've finished up working all the way around here, we're just going to slip stitch into this first stitch to join each row, just like this, chain 1, and then turning our work around, and then skipping this first chain and inserting our hook into this first stitch. We're going to be working those back bar single crochets into each stitch all the way around here. And so I am back here with these back bar single crochets coming all the way around. And then just like last time, you're going to slip stitch into that top stitch, chain 1, turn our work around, and then you probably guessed it, our next row we're going to be working half double crochets into each stitch around. So I just finished up working those half double crochet rows, and then I slip stitched into that first stitch to join as you normally would. And then now to continue this pattern, you want to repeat row 1 and row 2 until your little short sleeve is 8 rows long, but you can actually go ahead and make this however long you would want. But I'm going to work this off camera, then I will meet you back. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my 8 rows. I cut and tied off once I reach the end. And then once you have finished one sleeve, you of course want to repeat that same process on the other side as well. And then once those two are finished, we're going to go ahead and move down to the bottom border over here. To begin on the bottom border, I switched my 6.5 millimeter hook out for a 4.5 millimeter hook, as you can see. And I'm just going to take my yarn and I'm just going to slip stitch it right into the seam. So I'm just inserting my hook, yarn over, and then pull through, chain 1. And then just like last time, we're going to be working single crochets into each row all the way down here, keeping in mind to treat each row like one stitch all the way around here. So just beginning into this first stitch, working a single crochet, then right into that next row, another single crochet, then into the next one, So I am back here. I just finished up working that foundation row of single crochets. And then I slip stitch into that first stitch to join this row just as you normally would. And then now to begin on the border, we're going to begin by making a chain of 11. And then once you have your chain of 11, skipping this first chain and inserting your hook into the second chain, work single crochets all the way down your row. And then once you have finished that, we're going to slip stitch up 2 on the side to join this row. So that is 1. And this is 2, and that kind of connects it, as you can see. I'm just going to turn my work around. And then skipping these first 2 stitches and inserting our hook into that third stitch, we're going to be working back bar single crochets into each stitch all the way down our work. And then once you've finished up these back bar single crochets, I'm just going to chain 1, turn my work around, and then beginning into this first stitch and skipping this first chain, I'm going to be working back bar single crochets all the way back down my row here. And then once you reach the end of this row, you want to once again slip stitch up 2 on the side, and then turn your work around. So now you want to repeat row 2 and row 3 with those back bar single crochets until you've worked all the way around your border. But I'm going to work 2 more rows with you guys just to kind of show you what I mean. So just like last time, skip these first 2 stitches, insert your hook into that third, and then work back bar single crochets, and then once you make it to the end, chain 1, turn your work around, beginning into this first stitch, work these single crochets, and then to connect this to your row, you just want to slip stitch up 2, just like this. So again, repeat row 2 and row 3 to make your border all the way around here, and then I will meet you back when I am all done. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my bottom border, as you can see. And then we do have these 2 edges to seam up. And to seam this up, all I'm going to do is just turn my work inside out. Then I'm just going to seam down these 2 edges using slip stitches or single crochets, but I'll just work that up really quickly. Okay guys, so my border is all seamed up. It looks really good. I cut and tied off once I reach the end. And then now that is all done, we're going to go ahead and move on to the collar over here. So let's get started on that. So now we're going to get started on the collar, and I still am using my 4.5mm hook. I'm going to make a slip knot. Then now we're going to begin with a chain of 6. And then after you finish that chain of 6, beginning into the second chain, we're going to be working single crochets, just as I am doing here. And then after you finish that row, chain 1, turn your work around, skipping this first chain and inserting my hook into this first stitch. I'm going to be working back bar single crochets all the way down here. And then once you reach the end, chain 1 and turn your work. So just to complete our collar, you want to repeat that row of back bar single crochets until your collar is a length of 18 inches. So I'm just going to work this one more time with you. Just like last time, skip this first chain, insert our hook into this first stitch. Then all you want to do is just work back bar single crochets into those 5 stitches. And then chain 1 once you get to the end and turn your work. So again, just repeat that row until you have a length of 18 inches. Then I'll just meet you back to attach it over here. Okay guys, so I am back here with my collar. It is 18 inches long, which was approximately 74 rows for me. And then before we attach this to our collar, we're actually just going to seam it down these 2 edges really quickly. So just going across using slip stitches or single crochets as you normally would. And then after you have seamed these 2 ends together, you do want to cut and tie off, except this time you want to make sure your tail is about 3 feet long because we're going to use that to seam this to our bottom edge. I'll just work that up with you really quickly. So I am back here. I'm just going to kind of explain to you guys what I have working. So I inserted 3 stitch markers in the front panel evenly around. Then I also did the same in the back. I inserted 3 stitch markers here. And then this is going to make the seaming process a lot easier if you just have those stitch markers holding our collar down. So if you can remember that 4 feet of tail that we left, I just wove a tapestry needle through it. And then we're going to start seaming our collar together, which is really easy to do. So all I'm going to do is just insert my hook into these back loops through the collar, and then through my back panel, and then just pull through. And then coming right back up here, inserting my needle, then going straight through again. And then you just want to be working this back and forth all the way around your collar until you have attached this to the edge. So as you can see, we're kind of attaching it over here. But yeah, I'm just going to work this all the way around, then I will meet you back when I am all done. Okay guys, so I am back here with my work. I just finished up seaming all the way around here and just took my 6 stitch markers out, and then this is what the finished collar is looking like. And that is actually the last thing you need to do with this project. The only thing left is just to weave in all of these loose ends over here, and then that would be the end of your sweater. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. If you bought this pattern, it would be super helpful if you left a positive review.